cheetah is the world's fastest land animal. Okay, so it's the fastest land animal on Earth, but there's a little bit of irony in it. And the irony is that the cheetah's prey, the Thompson's gazelle, does anybody know? Well, the Thompson's gazelle happens to be the second fastest animal on Earth. And that's, you know, you got to think about it. Now, of course, that's not the only thing that the cheetah eats, but primarily it is. And so the stock market and algorithmic trading is kind of like a cheetah who's incredibly fast, but it's hunting the Thompson's gazelle, who's no slouch in getting away from the cheetah. Okay. Well, why is that important to the Trade Ideas algorithms and what's going on? Well, I'll show you guys, because again, I'm going to demonstrate it all. But what's really, it's important because the stock market, we're hunting for alpha, and alpha is unusual returns. Well, how are those unusual returns hidden from us? Well, they're hidden from us by noise. In other words, stock movements are not easy to predict because, again, look at this. You have this China stuff happens, and patterns that seem logical all of a sudden break down. So the best thing that you can do is, again, fight that mathematically. Keep seeing where the best possible statistical areas of probability exist and be there. And if there aren't any, then don't be there. Like, don't trade. It's okay to not participate. So back to LXRX, you know, we were showing you this algorithm where you can see there's that gap, very big volume, the flush out, and so on and so forth. Okay. So we had the Q&A webinar today, which we have on Wednesdays as well. And in this webinar, people were asking a lot of questions about how, you know, what is the advantage of Trade Ideas? How does it separate? What are the things that separate you from everybody else? So what Brad and I were showing is a little bit of this. And I actually wanted to show this because this is an interesting thing for you guys all to learn something about, like, the dynamics of the market. So I had asked our artificial intelligence engine to create a strategy from a discussion we had had on stocks that were basing. And so, by the way, today it had this one. This was the signal TNXP, okay, at 9:20, and it closed at 8:58. So again, just that happens, and I don't think that would have necessarily gotten us out of it, but it's a 4-day trade, so that's okay. But this strategy right here, I was talking to another customer, and I wanted to just kind of give them an experience how important it is to have the proper kind of metrics behind you, compared so that you can think about what to focus on. Look at my commissions and my slippage. So the strategy I designed here is such a strategy that if I was, okay, trading 300 shares and paying $65 in and $65 out and losing 15 cents in and then losing 15 cents out, so 30 round trip, I would still be projecting a 33% return because my profit factor, which is the winners divided by the losers, is 11 over 11. That's somewhat, like, we would say, like, insane. That means that the algorithm is finding something that's been working very, very well. And again, that doesn't mean that it won't erode or that there were not any kind of hiccups. So let's kind of take a look at what we're seeing June. And remember, this is a swing strategy, much like the Trade Ideas Trade of the Week strategy. And this is what it looked like. Everything that we have here is something that you can, you know, of course, look and see and kind of investigate on your own to see, could you or would you have been in these trades? And again, notice the numbers here. We designed this specifically for clients who cannot be at the office and in front of a computer all the time. This is designed for clients who may or do have other careers and jobs but still want to be active and participate in the markets. So to me, this was very, very important, okay? Because again, you can learn such an important lesson. You know, everyone's like, commissions, commissions, and there's a whole brokerage right now, Robinhood, that's based on 0 commissions. And it's kind of funny because, I mean, I think that Robinhood just doesn't have this data. Commissions is not the problem. It's stock selection, idea selection. That's the problem, okay? So this is the problem that we try to solve, and we try to solve it mathematically. So what I'm going to do now, I want to kind of take a quick break and have Scott go over just our pricing and things that we do on every webinar, so that for people who are not Trade Ideas customers, they can participate. But then, guys, I'm gonna do something super cool for everybody here that's never been done in any webinar that we've ever done. So, Scott, why don't I give you the mic while I prepare all of the other good stuff?
Yeah, sounds good. Can you put it on slide 9 there?
Sure.
As Dan pointed out earlier, we're going to go through a price change on July 22nd. We finally have a date. Our current subscriptions and pricing models go like this. We have a 1-month plan that does not renew at $99. We have a monthly recurring, which is the standard plan, and that's $75 per month recurring. We have an Advantage Player plan, which is $43 a month. But the way that works is you pay the first month at $236, and then it recurs at $43. And as it goes on, it saves you money. We also have an annual subscription for $628. That's 30% less than you would be paying if you paid $75 for 12 months. We also make a quarter available. That's $75 per month for a quarter, $225. We have an odds maker license. Now, the odds maker license is a lifetime license. So if you come or go with us, you always have that license. And something that we've tried to make note of in the most recent webinars is the odds maker will be required for the upcoming AI channel. Some of you may be familiar with that or not. We will also construct strategies for you at $250 per strategy that coincide with your risk tolerance and trading style. If you can flip over to slide 10 there real quick. Here's a little chart that kind of shows you how the different types of subscription plans end up saving you money at different times. The lowest risk, of course, is $75 a month because it's month to month. And then as you can see, if you've been on that for a year, it's much more advantageous to be on the $628 yearly. It's after the first year that the Advantage Player really starts to overtake and starts to save you money. Now, as we already mentioned, our rates will be increasing when we launch the charts in the optimized AI channel. The good news about it is that everyone that currently has a subscription, they're locked into the current rate and grandfathered in for the new features, unless your subscription lapses for a long period of time. And you can check that on our billing policy page, by the way, too, if you're interested. It's basically it for this. If you have any questions about that, go ahead and type them into the questions panel. I'll hop on after Dan has wowed you with his other portion of his presentation, and thank you guys with a promotional code to save you some additional money moving into the month of July. Dan?
Thank you, Scott. Okay, so first of all, for everyone who subscribes, well, for everyone who is an OddsMaker customer, please just send an email to dan@trade-ideas.com, and that'll be on one of the slides, and I will send you this strategy, okay, the swings trading strategy. And for everybody who subscribes, of course, you will get it as well. So I'm going to close this, and here's kind of the cool stuff that I want to do with you guys. So a lot of people ask us, well, how is this AI work? What happens? And, you know, we kind of tell everybody that it's really sort of behind the scenes sort of stuff. It's not the sexiest stuff you will have ever seen, because it's really just number crunching and everything else. But then I thought to myself, man, you know what if we could just kind of give people a glimpse, okay, of how it's done, right? Like, could we like break it apart into a couple of its iterative steps, and so that people can sort of see like, wow, now I get what the computer's doing. So my software engineers did this, and remember that what you're about to see is something that isn't out anywhere. It's really made for a presentation like this, so that you can kind of get a glimpse into what happens behind the scenes of the Trade Ideas artificial intelligence engine. So the first thing is, like the Trade Ideas Trade of the Week, we come up with a concept. Okay, so I'm going to have a start from scratch, and in fact, I'll ask anybody if they have any kind of trade idea, or if someone's like gives me something high level that I can show, I'll show you how our artificial intelligence engine works on it. But if not, then what I'll do is I'm going to make a trade for something that is up like 3% or more for the day, and I want to trade it during the day. So basically, I want to get into it and kind of hold onto it as much as possible to squeeze as much out of that percentage move. Okay. Now again, if you guys have some opening 15-minute opening range breakout, Barry, for you, sir, always. Thank you. Okay, so Barry, who is actually our head moderator and master of strategies in the Trade Ideas support chat room, which is available to everybody via our channel bar. If I can just get it here. And oh, whoops, I have the screen up. Hold on one second. So right here, this is our channel bar where bottom of it, it's our live trading chat room, which is headed by Mr. Einerson. And Barry is always here on the webinars helping myself and everyone else. So he requested it, I'll do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from scratch. So then I go to search, like Google, and I say 15-minute. So it shows you this, our search tab goes into our computers and shows you all of our different 15-minute kind of signals that we have. And Barry had suggested this one, which is the 15-minute opening range breakout. What this means is, in terms of the 15-minute opening range breakout, it means that a stock has a high and a low that it creates throughout the first 15 minutes of its trading range. And we treat that like a day. So that's like becomes its own day. And then we let you know when it breaks out of that range. So this is the first time it breaks out of its 15-minute range. Since Barry did it, this is the one that we're doing. Rudy, this should cover all the same concepts. And again, remember, this is a demonstration of the AI, so you guys should like it. So 15-minute opening range breakout. I'm going to then go to our filters, and this is the way you define the universe. But remember, guys, so for this, I'm creating what's called a base strategy. So I'll say I'll go as low as 1 and no higher than 100, just to kind of pretend that I'm a normal investor, which I am. These are the same stocks that I trade. So now I can add defaults. So these are the default filters that we have. These are the ones that people are the most familiar with. There's a little bit of fundamental and a little bit of high-level stuff, but this really covers great basics. Okay, so here's what I can say. I can say the average 3-month volume is something, but I'm not going to care about that because I'm going to use what I think is a more interesting filter, which is called volume today. Now let me explain to you guys why I'm using that. So I'm going to say 100,000. So volume today versus 3-month average, the reason I do that is because what if a stock doesn't trade that much and all of a sudden news hits and it's trading 100,000 today, maybe even 1 million. A stock can go from trading like 30,000 to 2 million in one day. But if you've got that average daily volume, the average daily volume gets calculated after the close. So you're going to be not seeing those stocks today. Again, so you've got to kind of be aware of how you set that up. So I'm going to say average volume today of 100,000, 1 to 100, and I'm going to say that at the time of the opening range breakout, the stock is going to be trading 200% of its normal 1-minute volume, and it's going to be up at least what I call this a little bit, 0.5%. Okay, so this is what I call my base. This is just a high-level concept. So I'm going to hit this. I'm going to say TOW demo of AI. I'm going to hit OK. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do what everybody with the odds maker has an ability to do. I'm going to right click, I'm going to run the odds maker, and I'm going to ask it to show me what's been going on. So this is how I do that. Whoops, sorry. So first of all, I say, well, when am I trading this strategy? This is a very important thing because, you know, you have to kind of be able to say, well, when would I normally be in front of an apparatus that would allow me to trade? So because I'm more of a guy that invests actively, I can say this is kind of my time. I don't trade the very open because, you know, I want to see what's going on. And I'll say I don't get into too many things in the last 2 hours because I'm not really that kind of like scalper type of trader. I want to be in something that's really moving more because I'm not gonna. I'm too old to trade 20 times a day. There, I said it. Okay. So then I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to get out of this trade, and let's call it. And this is where I say this is again. Remember, you're trying to find out high-level ideas. So I say generally, how about I get out 30 minutes before the close, so that if I'm not even going to use any stop loss because again, that's for later. So my general concept here is I'm saying I'm going to trade this opening range breakout roughly from I'm on the West Coast, so from 6:45 a.m. till 11 a.m. and I'm going to exit at 12:30, which is half hour before the close. Okay. So I'm going to simulate buy. Not necessarily, Barry, because so Barry asked, wouldn't it trigger before 6:45 anyway? No, because again, you can have a stock be in its opening range for 2 hours. You know, it can be. What if it had such a big volume bar in the first 15 minutes, and then everything else was smaller, and it's like everything else is inside the one bar. So, yeah, I mean, opening range breakouts can happen anytime, but yeah. Oh, sorry, Bear. You know, it's so late, I couldn't read. It was just like you in the webinar earlier. You said it wouldn't trigger before 6:45. Yes, Barry is absolutely correct. See, Barry, after a while, I can read the English and I understand what you're saying. Okay, so what you're seeing here is our engines testing the strategy, and it's 84% through. So one of the things to kind of contemplate as this is happening is, first of all, just the part about the slide where I was saying being efficient, okay? So what we're asking our computers to do, and what they're doing here, is they're learning. They're learning what's happening, and they're giving you a readout. And what they're saying is, Barry, I know you like 15-minute opening range breakouts, but just because you like 15-minute opening range breakouts, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are by themselves statistically you know, good. But what I'm going to show you today is, again, is something that has never been done in any of our webinars before, and I'm kind of excited to do it. And I'll show you what it is as soon as it's done going through the 99 percentile. It's always like this, you know, when you're doing demonstrations, the very, very last part is always the hardest for the computer to finish. And why that is, I have no earthly idea. This is, again, it's the art and science of database technology. So in the period that we test, and when we do all of our back testing, and this is called event-based back testing. So we tested the event of the 15-minute opening range breakout, and this event looked like this. So today, see, in fact, this stock did it after hours. Okay, kind of interesting. So this is what the alert window looked like, and these are the results. So of course, let's modify this just to regular retail commissions. Remember, I was telling you about how commissions are not the thing that's going to kill you. And let's make our slippage again also more reasonable. So let's say 5 cents in and 5 cents out. Okay. So here's your story. And it's not a good story by itself, but this is what I talked about, the Thompson's gazelle versus the cheetah, okay? So you've got a lot of technology that's showing you information that no other investors or traders can see. You now know that if you're getting into this, holding it all day, you've got a 45% chance of being right. And your average winner is going to be 38 cents, but your average loser is going to be 30 cents. So what does that mean? Well, that's called death by 1,000 paper cuts. Because when you lose 5 cents in and 5 cents out in slippage, and you pay $7.95 in and $7.95 out in commissions, you are done. And you would never trade this strategy. Okay? But at least now you know. So you may or may not have seen this button on other webinars, but this is our access to the AI gateway. And again, just for visual confirmation. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into here and I'm going to show you how it's done. So one of the things, again, this is sort of like you're seeing stuff that we've done in work in progress, but the best name for what we do on the AI is called the Monte Carlo R-part. Okay? And what this does is it does a lot of random sampling, in sample, out of sample. It just does a lot of science. Okay, and this is like the access screen for it, and this thing behind the scenes, and you can see it's doing its magic, is basically going through all the iterations. And I'm going to close this of all of these 6,257 trades. And now what it's doing is it's going to this tab. Okay, and so this is what's kind of cool is, as I'm talking through it, I'm basically tasking our AI engine to be doing the magic. So I'm going to show you. So it goes through all of this information, and of course, first it's trying to say, well, where are my best trades? Where am I making the most money? Is price important? I mean, you can say, wow, I should just trade $70 to $80, but that's not exactly how everything works. And that's kind of the interesting thing about creating strategies and optimization, because you don't want to, that's kind of called exact curve fitting, where you say, okay, well, had I had the magic powers of going back in time and had I known, I would have only, of course, traded the stocks that had the best move. But that's not what happens. So what you're able to do is the AI goes into all these. Yes, the AI. Well, Ashraf, the AI isn't available to the public yet. But let me show you what's happening. So what I asked our developers to create is this kind of an output. So you guys can kind of see what's happening behind the scenes of our AI. So the AI has gone through all of this right here, okay? And then it's creating, it's taking what it thinks are the best possible candidates, and it's telling us, well, here's one strategy with this many trades, here's the various profit factors, and we have an internal overall score, okay? That's right. You guys are really seeing what's happening on the inside, specifically designed to show you how the computer works. Okay, so this system score, I can sort it by the best and the worst. Okay, so here, if I went through all of it, and again, I mean, I think this is kind of cool. You guys really get to see what's going on underneath there. So there's quite a bit of options that the computer has to choose from. So that imagine the AI is kind of like trying to figure out, well, look at this. I mean, which one's better, this one or that one? Okay, but as it turns out, it's this one. Okay, and part of the reason is this. Okay, is number one, still we have a lot of trades. Okay, and what you want is a big correlation from the out of sample and the in sample. So what I do now is I right click and I take this strategy that the AI suggested, and I go back to our alert window. Where did I put it? Okay, I right click, I collaborate, I hit the paste button, and then I rerun the odds maker and see, did this AI adjustment help? Mike, no, we do not allow any code of the AI. So again, so now what our software is doing is it's retesting everything, and also, again, creating a whole lot of what it's trying to do is trying to make sure that it's not fooling itself. So that's one of the big things that we're doing behind the scenes. And remember, we started with a sample size of 6,257, okay? And then we are rerunning it through a different set in the database. So there's so much going behind the scenes to clean it up. And we're still, look at our win rate. It's still not fantastic, but we're getting a little bit better on the profit factor, okay? So let's just let this keep going. Rudy, that's correct. That's right. So and I have all of my filters as columns. So it's basically it's saying, hey Dan, I'm going to use every single filter you got to figure out what the hell's going on. But Mike, it might be coming at some point. So okay, so guys, so check it out. So we now have a profit factor of 1.55, and now we have a sample size of 1,100 trades with a 50% success rate, but we're getting better because our average winner is 66 cents and our average loser is 43 cents. And we can already say that there's a 29% return. But here's where the beauty of this technology comes into play. So again, I can then look at the calendar and I can see what's going on here. I don't like this. Most win days in a row, 3. Most lose days in a row, 3. Who likes 3 losing days in a row? Nobody. We got killed on this day. 0 of 20. You got to love that. But this is, again, very important because, listen, the AI is trying to remember we are hunting the Thompson's gazelle here, okay? It's fast, and fast in metaphorical terms means noisy in the markets, okay? So once again, we go to optimizer tools and we ask for Monte Carlo's help. So everything is happening the same as before. We're going to the optimization and we're going to the, let me see here. We're going to the other filters, and the software is crunching through all the combinations, noticing, well, what's going on the 1-minute RSI? Oh, and here we go. It's already done. It's pretty fast, that AI. So one of the things that we task it with, when it grades everything, is that you want to make sure that all of your stuff is not happening in one day. Okay, so again, this whole AI scoring and figuring out it's not that easy. So I'm going to resort and sort again, and here's number 12. And this looks like most likely our candidate. Okay, although, okay, here you got 66% and a 5% profit factor. They're both the same in terms of out of sample and system score. So I'm going to go for the one that I liked better. And then I go to our window, collaborate, paste all, and then now we rerun the odds maker. Let me close that, run the odds maker, and here we go. And now you guys are really kind of seeing everything coming together. This is the advantage that we bring to the table. This is what separates us from the trade stations, what separates us from every other data vendor in fintech. There is nobody else that does this. Okay, so this is what this strategy looks like. 80 trades over the course of the last 3 months. And again, remember, it's impossible to have perfection. There's no such thing. Okay, and anybody who tells you is a fool. I mean, and now, remember I said I don't like most wins days in a row of 3. So now we have 11, and I think it's this part, 1, 2, or something close to it. Losing day, no trades, losing day, losing day, losing day. Again, I mean, this is you have to be able to understand that no matter what system you have, there's going to be no perfection because that's not how the market works. I mean, you have to know that you can get a system and somehow still be in this wave right here. And look how little this wave looks like had you just been able to stomach it from 32 well, or 40 to 48. That's 8 trades that might have not gone your way. How would you know if you got into this system, here? Or you could have gotten into it here and you're like, Dan, come on, this thing's really stinking up a storm. But that's the whole thing about trading is, you really have to kind of let it shape. You have to let it happen. So this is a strategy. Barry, would you like this strategy for tomorrow, for your room? It had a really nice day on the 6th, and here, let's see what it caught. Again, notice trading 300 share lots. So we try to make it so that you can kind of possibly relate to it. Barry, of course, you know that you will have it. So I don't want to necessarily just spend more time here for no reason. Let me do the best I can right now to answer questions, but to me, we're going to do much more of this exercise in future Trade of the Week webinars where we kind of show you and create stuff from scratch for you so you can see that this is what's going to power the AI channel. This is what powers the odds maker. This is what it looks like, people. And this is the difference between having the computer power or cheetah speed when you're forced to hunt the Thompson's gazelle. You can't do it on a tricycle. And your golden retriever isn't going to catch one. So let me, please, everyone who wants, please make sure to ask me some questions and I will do my best to answer them. While you're doing that, just again, so everyone understands that how this relates to the trade of the week is that the trade of the week was created by this type of algorithm. So, all right, let's say, what is Rudy saying? Can we filter and alert off the ORB price if when it comes back into that range? Basically, alert and filter off of the opening. Rudy, great question that has been asked. And while we've been pretty busy integrating into interactive data and creating the charts, that's definitely coming. So, for sure. So, Charles, you're asking, can we apply this to day trading? Well, this strategy is day trading. That's exactly what this one is. This one, and I'm going to just, again, make sure you know, is I'm getting in between, again, West Coast time, 6:45 and 11 a.m., and I'm exiting half hour before the market. So there's no overnights in this position, in this trade. So you can do any time frame. You can say, well, what would have happened to this if I did it over a week? Would this work, even though this looks good on the day trading, would this work the same way weekly? Let's find out. I actually have no idea. That's not that bad, Barry. Whoa! Barry, what did you get me into? At home, terrible trade. But it must have done pretty good, swing trading it before. So remember, this is kind of cool because as everyone can imagine, this was not optimized at all for the swing time frame. It just happens that the signals that the AI picked up for the whole day happen to have translated into a slightly longer time frame. Barry, I would have never ever guessed. Usually that never works. And this is what's really cool about trade ideas is you get glimpses into what's going on with the data, and the data is very, very, interesting. This is what's up, and we're not afraid to show you that, again, here, mistake. Nothing you can do about that, especially since it was not designed to hold overnight. But let's do it again, and you can then say another hypothetical. So we went longer. Let's go shorter. Let's go shorter. Hold on one second. And we're going to say I'll just do it for 45 minutes. And here we go. And just see if it works on that. So it looks like 45 minutes is okay. I mean, in terms of average winner over average loser, but you know, it's just a lot trickier. The move develops more over the longer term. So what I want to do now is, again, I want to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for being here and taking advantage of us, giving us the opportunity to show you how the trade of the week is formed, and also for you to glimpse into our technology. Scott, why don't I give you back the mic so that you can tell everybody about the offers for that we have, and we can then let everybody enjoy the rest of their evening.
That sounds great. Can you park it on slide 12 for now? Something we like to do to thank everyone for showing up is offer a discount code. So everyone is aware now that's attended this webinar that our rates are going to be increasing to $99 for the standard subscription, over $75 a month for the standard subscription, coming up on July 22nd. So it's a really good time to get in on a regular Trade Ideas subscription before the price increase, and this lets you save even more. If you use that product code TOW24 before the end of Friday, you can save 30% off your first month, your first year, or the first payment of the Advantage player, or you can get 40% off the lifetime odds maker license. It's only $660 for the odds maker. If you're a subscriber and don't have the odds maker yet, this is a really great time to get into it. So we also have a package combo that will be going away when the price increases as well. And that's on the next slide there, Dan. It's number 13. And that's the package combo a lot of you are familiar with already, that gives you a full year of trade ideas and the lifetime odds maker license and a strategy for $8.99. So that's well over half off. It's like under $3 a day if you want to rationalize it that way. But the bottom line is it is a fantastic offer. You can go to that bit.ly link, bit.ly/899saver, and the SAVER is all in caps. And also, I almost forgot, if you look at your handout panel in your GoToWebinar interface there, you should see a PDF you can click on and download. And that will also have this link and the product code to save the 30% off the first payments or the 40% off of the odds maker. But if anyone's on the standard $75 a month plan and would like to switch to this $8.99 package, just go ahead and purchase it and then shoot us an email letting us know you did that, and we will go ahead and make sure that your previous subscription is corrected and turned off so you're not double billed on anything. So just go ahead and go to bit.ly/899saver and buy it, and then shoot us an email, letting us know you did the upgrade, and we'll help you out. As always, you can contact us at info@tradeideas.com. Also, reach us at Twitter. Dan is at TradeIdeas1, and our other account is at TradeIdeas. We're at Facebook/TradeIdeasPro. You can give us a call, or just shoot Dan an email directly if you're looking for one of the strategies he showed today. Dan@TradeIdeas.com. Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks, Dan. It was a great prezo. Good for you to show.
Really appreciate everybody taking their time, and don't forget July 22nd, price is going up, so it's a great opportunity to lock your current rates in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Good night.